Much better. This did not like being on two-wheel drive. All right, guys, I apologize for any wind noise. I'm crouched down out of the wind at the moment, but it's pretty windy today. At any rate, I have my Redcat Volcano EXP here. My buddy Twine traded me this used truck here for a couple batteries, and it was a lot of fun. Last time out here, it was a lot quicker than I expected. It went 55 miles an hour on 3S, and I think it was 39 miles an hour on 2S. As far as the setup, it has a 60 amp Hobbywing ESC and a 3650 size motor, 4000 kV. This is Hobbywing as well. Now, originally I had a pretty spicy setup with a 26 tooth pinion gear in here, and it was fine for on-road, quite quick. But as soon as I took it off-road, the first crash I had, both front dog bones bent. They're really weak, and I was kind of annoyed. So I tried it in two-wheel drive, but I could not put the power down. This thing needs to be in four-wheel drive. These tires are old, not very grippy. Long story short, I decided this is just not fun for speed running. I'm not gonna make it a speed run setup. I let the neighborhood kids use it. My daughter uses it. I kicked it down to a 16 tooth pinion gear. It's a lot happier. That 26 tooth pinion was overheating the ESC, or getting it close to being overheated. Hotter than I was comfortable running it, and the motor was getting really hot. So much better setup overall, I think. I just want to GPS it, see how much slower it is. I'm thinking it's probably gonna go high 20s on 2S. That's all I'm running. Again, it hit 39 on 2S with the taller gearing. But let's do a quick speed run with it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and have a little fun with it off-road. And you know, I'm just gonna use this truck for what it is. It's a cheap basher, and I am running some new dog bones here. A big thank you to Shergo for sending these out to me. Now, these don't have very high ratings on Amazon. A lot of them were breaking. So I told them I'd go ahead and test them and see if I have any luck in mine. Perhaps they've, you know, retooled things and these are better than the ones that have the low ratings, or perhaps they're gonna break pretty quickly here. I don't know what to expect. The only other change I made to this is I did turn the punch down with the low traction tires. It's just no need for it to have the high punch. Plus, there's no slipper clutch in here, so I'm more comfortable running it on a lower punch setting. This originally came with a brushed motor, so this is gonna have a lot more torque, and the low punch setting will still give you all the top speed it would have otherwise, without that you know, drivetrain shocking punch when it's turned up. Previously, it was on 7 out of 9. All right, let's see what this thing does on 2S and have some fun with it. Now, I brought along 2 budget 2S packs. This is actually a Li-Ion pack, and I have this Eurogenics 2S pack here. This one here is actually pretty powerful for how cheap it is. You can get 2 of these. They're like, I don't know, $25 or something. They're really inexpensive. These are inexpensive as well. This is my buddy Twine's battery, but just wanted to test it out. And there may not be much of a difference between these two in the lower geared setup here with a 16 tooth pinion. Not a lot of load, but figured why not? Let's run 2 of them and see how fast it goes. My Milan GPS was acting up, so I'm probably gonna just run my cell phone GPS. And be it ghetto, it works really well. GPS is zeroed out. I'll throw the Milan on there, but I'm worried it's probably not gonna end up working. So let's see what this thing does. All right, we'll take the readings from the Milan GPS with a grain of salt, and we'll rely on the cell phone GPS, but here we go. Can we hit 30? I don't know. Well, those brakes are really strong. I tried to turn them down, but best I could tell, they're on the lowest setting. Maybe it's reversed from what it's telling me though. Let's bring it around. That was definitely more than 19. This thing is just not cooperating. I cleared it out and it's still reading. Go figure. We'll do one more run and then check out the cell phone. Man, I can't even touch the brakes. All right, I think we got a good reading this time on the Milan GPS. It says 30, but let's confirm with the cell phone GPS. That's on the second run there. And the cell phone is saying 33.6. So yeah, that still wasn't a good reading. So pretty quick. And again, that was on this Urgenix 2S LiPo. Link in the video description where you can pick up one of these. Great, inexpensive LiPo. Perfectly suited for something like this truck here. All right, let's put in that Li-ion battery and see what kind of speed difference we get. All right, here we go with the Li-ion battery. And the GPS is already acting squirrely. I would love to get a GNS analyzer or one of Milan's new GPSs they're just releasing. I actually might get one of those. We'll see what happens. But for now, the cell phone's plenty good. I used a cell phone for a long time before I had this Milan, and it always worked well. It was just cumbersome to use on some of my RC cars, especially the smaller ones. We'll do 4 runs like we did with the last battery. These are not pre-warmed, so they might get a little quicker as I run them here. And so far, these Shergo dog bones are working fine. These brakes though, you literally can't really use them. As light as I'm touching it, as light as I can do it, they're locking up. Sketchy. Well, 39, we're gonna say that's not a real reading. And I think last time we hit, was it 33? I can't quite remember. I'll put it on the screen. And 32. So I think this Li-ion battery was a little slower, but still pretty close. So for a low amp draw RC car like this, you don't need the best batteries in the world to have fun. The capacity is more important than anything. And both of these are 5200 milliamp hour units. So we should get some good run time out of them. Okay, now that I have the GPS out of here, I'm just gonna have some fun with this thing. I'm gonna just see how it handles on road at these much more comfortable speeds. 55 was just, kind of bonkers in this truck. And the fact that these tires are old and don't have a lot of traction is not really a bad thing. You can drift it, the back end comes around. And if they gripped a lot better, I think the problem would be that it'd be much more prone to tipping over. So far, it hasn't tipped over at all, and this thing does have a pretty high center of gravity. Now, on 2S, I don't know what you guys think, but this actually seems plenty fast for me, especially if I'm mostly gonna just use it for bashing and having fun. And if I want it faster on 3S, it would probably go, I would say every bit of 45 and probably close, maybe high 40s, I don't know. Don't really care, honestly. Again, did 55 with the spicier pinion gear in there, the 26 tooth. But here, this is good. And the handling, when I let it lift, it'll snap oversteer. If you lift gently, you can kind of drift it. So that's about perfect. Much better. This did not like being on 2-wheel drive. Now we are testing these Shergo dog bones out. They haven't snapped yet. So I guess that's encouraging, but I'll keep you guys posted on how these work. It was only, I think you can get 4 of them for $8, or if you want axles, or I guess hubs rather, and the dog bones, the 4 dog bones, they're like 11. So very reasonably priced. And so far, so good. So yeah, under full throttle, it understeers a lot. The front end just plows, but when you start lifting, the truck, the back end will come around on you. So that's about perfect. Pretty neutral handling overall. Yikes, I kind of lost track where I was there, and I hit that basketball. hoop, but it had a pad, so that's good. This is great. I'm gonna run it for a few minutes, see how hot it gets. Oop, all right, I did flip it. We'll take a quick look here, see how hot the motor is. It's warm, not crazy hot. The ESC should be fine. So, I'll go take this to the baseball field in a minute, but let's see how it does here in the grass. And that's why 10 scale is so much better for a truck if you want to run it off-road. Forget about that in a 14 scale. Don't get me wrong, I love my 14 scale trucks on road or on a baseball field, but something like this is the way to go. If you have a kid, someone just getting into RCs, the 14 scale is great if you're only running pavement, but if you have curves and stuff, you gotta be a lot more careful. So this is a nice setup. It's fine. Now that I got this thing sorted out and a more appropriate pinion gear in here for the kind of use I'm gonna do with it. Ooh, we're looking good. Ooh, almost took myself out there. Yeah, this thing does great off-road. Look at it go. All right, that's enough here. Let's go ahead and take it over to the baseball field. Hopefully there's nobody on them.